What is everybody? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. What is today? The 5th? January 5th. Truth and Transparency. This is the coverage on your Spencer and Monique Tepe murder update. Again, Monday, January 5th, 2026. We were down there all morning until the afternoon. Actually, we're at different locations, not just down at the house. The police, at about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the police put out this video. This is a person of interest video, and they gave it to local station 10 here in Columbus. There's no sound or anything with it, or if there is, we didn't get that portion of it. I'm going to play it here for a second. This is at regular speed. Okay. One more time, I want to show you guys something. All right, so this is the back alley. And I'm going to explain where there's a couple different back alleys, but what we were told, and again, we can just go off of what we're being told, as there's no timestamp, no date, but this is said to be between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the back alleys of where the houses are, in the area of where Spencer and Monique lived. So now I think I have this narrowed down where exactly it is, and I'm going to show you guys where I think it is. I'm going to pause it right. Okay. What I want to show you guys first of all is if you start it right at the beginning of this little segment, you can tell that there is no person in the screen. And it's interesting to me because it's almost like, unless something was around here just momentarily right before it, it seems like it's just running. But again, we don't get enough of the clip to see how long, if it's just like a running. It says nest up and to the right. I know you guys can have different settings for what you have. When we were down there today, I mean, I see a person in jeans. I don't know about you guys, but we'll break down the rest of the video in a little bit after I show you guys some other things that we're going to break down. I postponed a couple of my lives today. I know one big one that I had because I have done nothing but nonstop research, and I want to first issue a partial correction. Hetty is 1,000% married to a man named Michael. It just happens to be a Michael that has all the same. I went and got marriage license today as well. So Michael McKee, the Michael McKee, who was married to Monique, he was not the Michael that is married to Hetty. However, there is a part here that is new, and that is when I was doing research over the past couple days, I said to myself, man, I really think that this Michael kid is adopted. And lo and behold, we have somebody that we work with this channel that does adoptees in the genealogy field. So the Michael McKee, who married in 2015, got divorced in 2017. We also called around to places that supposedly he has, performed surgeries. And none of those places are in Ohio. And in fact, the places that we have for him, where he has last been known to have addresses in Illinois, Vegas, Cali. Well, we're going to get into what happened prior to the murders with Google Analytics. Google Analytics, if you were to go and look and type in a phrase, you can go back and see what different parts of the country where somebody was like Googling you, or, they say it like web research. I'm going to put those up on the screen here in a minute. I think you guys are going to be just as shocked as I was, and to see where these locations were. Now, Michael McKee, he out of Zanesville, and wait till you hear what was going on in Zanesville just a month, not even, between December 6th and a couple days before the murders. Somebody from Zanesville was web researching the names Spencer and Monique. So I'm going to put those up on the screen here. Take a look. So this is a past 7 days, and this is Eastern Standard Time, and this is breaking it down by hours. So it says Spencer there, but we typed in his full name, and right here in Illinois, you can see there was activity here, obviously after his name was known, as it says like January 2nd. But right over here, December 29th, 2025, at 7 a.m., we have somebody that is doing a web search for the name Spencer Tepe. This is all categories. December 18th. This is in and around the Columbus area. December 18th. These are pretty unique names, okay? I guarantee you that wasn't you, unless you were Google searching her name or his name like a month before the murders. Let's take a look here at another one. Spencer. Now, this goes all the way to a peak of 100. Okay. On December 6th, 2025. And this is out of, well, there's a couple different areas. And something that I posted earlier, which I said I was going to show you guys, is the areas that the name was being searched. His is on December 6th at a peak of 100. And then her name is at a peak of 100 on December 8th. And Zanesville is coming up, which I thought was absolutely wild. I hope the police are already on this. I sent in a tip about it. There's, let's see the dates I have. December 6th, December 8th, December 15th, December 27th, 28th, 29th. That is unbelievable to me, because it's specifically where the last known places, the last known places that the person that Monique was married to back in the day, this is where he is. These are addresses in his past addresses in his cities and areas. So, yeah. Again, this is way before the crime, as you can see. This is December 6th. And then, so when you stretch it out over the course of, which we did here, this is just one of them to show you. See how there's like nothing, And then but right there, there's that peak. And that's December 29th at 7 a.m. And that's before the murders. That's the day before. Okay. So think about somebody web searching this name. And this isn't just like I could sit here and show you all the different cities, but I think that you guys pretty much can get it. Now, in December, like the December 6th and the December 8th, Spencer's name was researched first on the 6th, and then hers was researched on the 8th. So, all right. Took me a while to dig this one out, but Michael McKee's mother passed away. And normally somebody that would be in your obituary would be your son. And Michael McKee is not in his mom's obituary. But he was she died in 2024 in October. If you go look up the obituary, he's not listed. If you look at the 2014 obituary of his only uncle, his uncle says nephew, Dr. Michael McKee, out of Zanesville. So he, in 2014, is listed in a family obituary. But then from the 14th to then 2024, his name is not in that obituary. Again, so Michael McKee, we have him as being adopted, and we have him as being not within his mother's obituary, is with his one uncle, and it says nephew. And yep. Okay. Let's see. Next, I'm going to show you guys a map. This is a really good map because it's going to explain the area. And those stars actually mean something. Okay. Okay, this is important to see. And the street where this is the 4 houses that were the brand new builds. Theirs is the second one. I want everybody to understand this. This is a one-way street this way. 8th Street, one way. 4th Street, it's like 3 lanes, one way. On the opposite side, so here's the alley behind the houses, and it goes along and it'll stretch even further. Okay. And then you're going to have these sets of garages because it's for these people's houses. Then there's a street here, and then your next street here is Summit, and Summit goes one way, and it goes the opposite way that 4th goes. So 8th is a one way, and then up here 9th is a one way. This is really important to understand as their house is right here. Okay. 4th Street, there's, like I said, 3 lanes, and then there are like duplexes right across the street. And then there is, obviously parallel streets that go up. But really what I wanted to focus on and show you guys is that when you're dealing with one-way streets like this, I had put it out, I think, a couple of days ago. I said, there's no way that this person came in a vehicle that would be really, really close to this area, because you're almost blocking yourself in. You're boxing yourself in. The alleyways are not one way. Okay. The alleyways, you can go either way, but they are very, very tight. As you can see, I don't know if the video does enough justice of that, but when there's vehicles up in so is 8th Street and so is 9th Street. When you have these vehicles all park on the side of the roads, it makes it very, very tight. So, here we go. Okay. this is this back alley, and your 4 houses, 1, 2, 3, 4, they all have Ring cameras and potentially cameras inside and outside their house. As far as outside the house, this last house on the corner, it has, geez, off of the garage here alone, there's a camera on each end of the garage up in the corner. Then when you're on the side of the sidewalk here, there are 2 cameras on the side of the sidewalk on the house. Then in between Spencer and Monique's house and their neighbor's house, they have another camera that's on that side of the house that's like mounted on their house. And then they have a 360-degree camera on top of their roof. Okay. So this is the stuff that I want to bring you guys the information. If you guys want to see the news clips that are putting out a minute and 30-second segments, go right ahead. I'm trying to give you guys all the new stuff. If you want to know what's going on prior to this and before this, the videos kind of go in sequence. I'm not going to just keep repeating. I just don't think that's, I don't need to say the same thing. The cops on the 4th in the morning, maybe it was in the evening on the 3rd, they put out that they were looking for camera footage and they shrunk the time. So they wanted camera footage from midnight to 9, and then they shrunk it down to, okay, we just want camera footage in the area now from 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. And then now today, there's been no pressers or anything like that. And now today at 6 p.m., Columbus Police put out that video that I just showed you, and we're going to go back to it in a second. Okay. Right here on the corner of 8th Street, which is corner of 8th and 4th is their house off to the left. That's where the police have, I'm going to give you guys all the pics. It's just easier this way. There you go. This is on the poles, and that's what's on the corner of that street, 8th. And it basically, I mean, anybody who just drove around one time, you would see this in a second. Okay. Like, you're not going to miss this. Here's what it looks like from a little bit further distance. All right, I'll back out the camera for you. Hold on one second. So again, this is right across diagonal from their house. That's where that pole is with the 3 cameras. All right. So again, when you're looking at this, right here's this is 8th Street, and it meets and intersects with 4th, and it's going to be right here, but on this side of the street, like not this side, this side. And it's I wouldn't say it's a traffic cam. Those are there for safety. No doubt about it. Okay. So what I did was next to the house, let's go back to this lovely map. You have the 4 nice, beautiful homes that are new built 2020, all right next to each other. Right on the corner of the street of 8th and 4th, but on this side, right here, that is this building here, but this is the back of it, okay? This is the sidewalk right on the other side of the sidewalk, or across the street, I should say. Like, this is 8th right here. This is 4th, okay? So literally right over here is where you would see the 4 houses begin. But they're going to be starting up from up here because they're going along the sidewalk. So this is the back angle of it. And you guys see right there, like that camera? This is the alley that stretches. So when you're see, this is the Zora's house, and then in the back patio, that's where that camera is. So it's like looking like out that way. But as you can see a little bit of the alley, and then this is the alley that's right behind the 4 houses. So you have 4 cameras here, a camera in the front, a camera in the back, but it faces this alley. You have a camera on each side of the garage right here. Now, this is Spencer and Monique's house right here in the middle. They have a camera in the front with the Ring, and then I believe that they have cameras inside unless they didn't have them working for whatever reason, because I saw that they were protected by Simple Safe, and I know what the capabilities of that is. And then you have 2 more houses here, okay? And then we're going to get into this camera right here in this area right here. And this, with what I show you right now, is where I believe one of these cameras is potentially the one that we've seen. You guys can make the decision, though. I'll show you the... Okay. So this is across the street in the alley. So here we go. Well, we'll start with this one first. Up here and to the right, you can see it. It blends in. It's black, and it's one of those 360 cameras. That's going to be on the last 4th house, I believe. That's 4 away from the first house. That's the big white one. Down in between that house, there's a little apartment complex that busts up this right here. There's a camera right there. Now, if you notice in the video, you could see that a car was kind of parked in like a driveway, it looked like. So I want to take another look at this video to see the opposite side of it. Which this is what's on the opposite side. And I talked to the guy that lives in this, not in this one, but the one right next to it. But it has a similar, like, 2 garages that are small like this, a door, and then up on top is where you live in these studios. So why I think it's interesting, if I'm correct, is, hang tight. Let me bring in the video again. We can't go down the alleys there. And that's the only thing that, if we were to go on Google Maps, you can't really go down those alleys. Okay, here we go. All right, right here, over here to the right where it says the word nest. Do you guys see that gray door that's over there on the right-hand side? I'll make it as big as I can. Okay, over there where it says nest, you're going to see like the gray door with the white outline all the way up into the right-hand corner. Okay. Now, that's what I believe this is. Okay. So hold on, let me go back to this video. Okay. Now, this is what's wild to me. The police are asking us for our help. Okay, I've been down here putting all these maps together, all those stars that you guys saw. Those are any places that have ring cameras, and what type of camera they have is based on the color coordination. Based on if they have double cameras, then it had a double sticker on it. Based on if it was a residential place or a commercial place, it had a different color. When I was down there the first time and I noticed how many cameras there were, I knew that if anybody had cased the place, there is one way that you're not going to go. Okay. You're going to stay way away from the right-hand neighbor. If you're looking at the house, it's the left side neighbor. Okay. They're the ones with all the cameras, with the addition of right across the street, catty corner, is that big Columbus police. Okay. Now, this is what I think is interesting. This person is walking. Like I said, you guys can be the judge of this. I believe that I have the right area, and then across the way there, that's the building that I showed you guys where that door is, that gray door. And so then therefore this would be right across from that, and that's going to be this camera right here. Okay. And the issue I have with this is that this person is walking in the alley towards the house. Like they're like down, like this is coming from like the back alley towards the house. What I mean by that is that this is not somebody like, if they're leaving, you would expect them to be walking the opposite direction, because where this is right now is you're walking towards the house. Okay. The house is not like it. The house is to the left of where that guy is right now. Okay. And when I was down there earlier with Bella, we were all walking around and we noticed that the Columbus police, they were over at the Huckleberry house. There's a couple different squad cars down there, and they were questioning somebody outside on the porch of the big Huckleberry house. And I was like, that's interesting. So again, this is from 2 to 5 a.m. And if I have the right area, this would be somebody that would be like, the house is to the left. So that means they're walking towards the house. Again, if I have the right area. And right here is what tells me I do, because I'm going to go back and split this up so then you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you guys the picture, and I have also video that I took personally. Here's where I think the camera is. So that's what he was walking along here. That's what you're seeing in the background. And then this is the opposite side. So these are on both sides. And here, right here, that is where I believe the camera is. So when they say that this is a person of interest, this person to me, I think they might want to know, like, hey, did you see anything? But now everything that I know in criminal cases, the last thing that you want to do is be like, hey, that's fucking me, man. What can I help you with? That's how Richard Allen got himself in that crazy ass mess. So that's the only thing that I see as a big struggle here, is that this person is not coming forward and be like, oh, that's me. There ain't no way. Only because of the way that I see these cases go. You do that, you become prime suspect. Okay. Also, I want to talk about the way that this person is dressed and how they're walking. And this would be considered, if you want to use a stereotype of something like, oh, that's a homeless person, or oh, that's a bum, or Like, that's how this person is dressed. And people can say they're concealing their head. I'm going to play a couple videos for you guys. This is how people were walking around down there. I mean, I don't know if I would say they're concealing their face. But they at least are coming from the side that if you're trying to get into that house and be as unseen as possible, you would come from this side. But this would be before anything was to happen, in my opinion. This is somebody walking towards the house. Again, here it is one more time. This is just what I believe. Right there, you're going to see, like, that's the driveway right there in front of us. Obviously, somebody's home and they have their car, this black vehicle here, parked not in the garage. There may be like another car in the garage, but they're right there on that pavement that's part of the driveway, and then it goes into like the gravel of the alley. I have the video that I took of this area too. But that's where the area is. And this tells me this is somebody that's walking towards the house. Again, he goes right there at the end to like shake out like his head or something. I don't know. But I just want to let everybody know that this is walking towards the house. This is not somebody walking away from the house. And this could be somebody that's just walking right to these apartments over here on the left-hand side. I mean, this is somebody that's like, it's like he takes his hand out of his pocket and he, I don't know. But I think it's helpful with context to know the area. And this person they're walking towards that house. Now, let's show something else. Okay. From where that person was, I'm going to zoom in and show you guys, because basically what I'm saying is he's going to be walking into, if he does not turn off, I'll show you guys where another, a couple cameras are that would be right with it. Let's go like this. Okay. So this is your back alley. Okay. He's walking. So East 9th, if you're driving a vehicle, you can only go this way. 8th, and this is where their house is right here on the corner with the white one, and then it's theirs. 8th, you can only go this way. Okay. And when I realized where their house was situated, this person would be all entrapped by one ways if you were in a car. And I said, that's the last thing that you'd want to be in a car. In this area, you're basically, you can only travel certain ways because of the one ways. But right here where it says C, that's the driveway area. Okay. And this is where I believe that camera is. And that's where what you're seeing across the other way is over on this side. And so he's walking. He's walking this way. Okay. And then right here, before you get to the nice 1, 2, 3, 4 houses that you see, and then you have a couple other, you have one that's off a little bit. Again, it's a nice house as well. But you have these 2 little apartment complexes. And I want to show you guys something. He would have been walking like he was, okay? Now check this out. That's the camera that caught him. This is the opposite side of the camera that caught him, okay? And then I may have to print this one off. Hold on. I can just at least show you this. Okay. Right after this camera, that you see him on right here, right after this camera. You can kind of see over here. Oopsies. This is the long rectangle apartments that are next to each other. They're like 1 or 2 bedrooms. It's the living room, kitchen on the first floor, and then when you go upstairs, there's usually like 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So they're smaller, but those are the 2 apartments that are little complexes that are right next to each other. This person had a Ring camera on there. When I say this person, somebody that lives there has had a sweet situated Ring camera. And I'm going to print it out. Just grab it here. I thought I had it. There we go. All right, it's printing. Right after that's printing, so right after that's done, this is going to be your next camera that you're going to see, and that's the 360 one. But right here, I don't know what type of vision this has, but it's literally in that long stretch of a couple apartment doors. This is the second one, and it has a decent angle. I just don't know what it's set to. I do know that a gentleman that I spoke with today, people are adamant about that no one's knocking on doors down there. Okay, not everybody watches the news. Not everybody knows what's going on. Also, some people might just need help, like figuring out, hey, I got this stuff, but I don't know how to get it to you guys, and they just don't even bother at that point because it's like, I don't know how to get this to you people. So I hope that people that are working this case hit people up like this, because that Ring camera is right on that angle. I don't know if it's in the view of it or not. Maybe it doesn't work, but it looked brand new. And it's going to be in between the video that we're seeing right now. And then the next one that we come up to is right here. And this is 2 houses down from the Tepes. And before you get to the White House, which that has 2 cameras on the back of their garage. So this guy is literally walking into, from where he was, he's like walking into camera heaven. No joke. Before you get to that point where that person is, if you go back to this camera, right here on the corner of 9th, this house, there's 2 houses right here on the corner that they butt right up all the way to the, basically, there's no yard or anything like that. This is what it looks like. Okay. So I want you to see this camera? These were situated in really good spots. And I'm like, if this person is coming from, I don't know which area, okay, but this is 4th Street, and I highly doubt that that's going to be the area that they're coming from. Like I said, I think that you're going to stay as far away as you can from 4th Street. I think it's going to come from like the back area. But this is 9th, and there's this camera as well as the house that butts up to it. It's a little further down. It has a camera as well, and they both kind of like face each other. So that's right here. Now, let's talk a little bit about this other area for a second. All right. Again, these are the 4 houses. This is the alleyway. All right. So, 4th, one way. These 2 are one ways. One's this way, one's this way. Then 8th, one way, 9th, one way. So you are in this block right here. And you're trapped. Okay? You are absolutely trapped, in my opinion. So you need to go out where, if you keep going this way, the next intersection or main road that's parallel is called High Street. But there is a little bit, there are a couple side streets in between, but High Street brings you down to the bars. Okay. Nobody that was in this area over here was asked for cameras. I was knocking on doors. People were walking dogs. I was asking them questions. Thought it was bizarre. So there's that. I think that they need to hit those people up because this person did not leave in a car right here. I'm just telling you guys, there's just no fucking way. All right. You're trapped. You're able to be followed. If you're walking, you're going to walk through the backyards of houses. You're going to hop fences. If you really plan this, you're going to see what houses have dogs so that you know what yard you can hop into and what yard you can't. Also, when you're doing something though at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, people aren't having their dogs out, they're inside with them. But I was expecting, when they told me that they were going to be releasing a video, I was not expecting what we saw today because I don't know how much that's helpful. I'm putting that out. I have to be honest. That person is walking towards the house. And yeah, that's just what I'll say right now. They're walking also, what they have over here, it's right on this camera, they're walking into camera heaven right here. So I have no idea why they would give us that when they have all of this better ass shit right here. Does that make sense? Want me to give it real to you guys? This person is walking into, literally. So what that means to me is that either this person kind of walked off like this and they didn't make it that far, or somebody's camera's not working right. But that's for us to just have this camera right here and nothing right here, especially this last house right here that has, everything you can imagine. They have a 360-degree camera on the roof. So something's up with the video that was released to us. That's my opinion. And my opinion is based off of the evidence I just showed you. I don't know. If you have better footage out there, I would be thinking that you'd be showing it. And I can promise you, this is a Nest video. The stuff that the White House has, dude, it's like Fort Knox over there. And so when I hear somebody say, hey, this was like a hit, this was, this was targeted, no forced entry. When you hear things like that, okay, in the middle of the night, someone goes in, they don't steal anything, they shoot a husband and a wife, right? Okay, for what? For what? Neither one of them has had any marriage that's resulted in kids. Spencer's never been married before his marriage to Monique. Monique's been married, but that lasted like all of less than 2 years. They went to Virginia right after they got married in Columbus. They were in Virginia. She actually was only in Virginia, I think, for like a couple different friends of friends said that I don't even know if she made it out a year over there. Anyways, at the end of the day, it was like no kids, quickest divorce ever. Filing in was not contested. And so that was in 2017. Now you fast forward, it's 2025, about to be 2026, and somebody's able to make entry into a home, shoot two people, leave, and I'm telling you, there's 27 cameras all around the area, and that's the little clip that we get. And it's not a good clip. We should be getting the backyard. If you really want help to identify somebody, if you really want help, who the hell is going to call and be like, yeah, that's my buddy? Give us this white footage right here. They were walking right here, and you're coming into camera central. Over here is where the camera is. And then unless he does not make it that far and he goes, and that means he would have went this way, which is away from the house. The house is over here. Or if he goes this way, then you're walking onto 4th over here, which is, that's where the police cam is. I mean, it doesn't make any sense that we are going to get that video footage and they're walking towards the house. It's not like they're going away. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So hopefully that helps you guys understand the camera footage. Like I say, when I went around, you name a house, I got your footage. I asked you guys if stuff worked. You know, you name it, I got it. I did all of that to hopefully help to preserve, because I wanted to send all this stuff in. You know, sometimes people just aren't that good at their job. So here, I'll make a list and I'll tell you every single camera that's, and when I'm able to add up 27 cameras, how the hell is anybody getting out of there undetected? Definitely not in a vehicle. You're definitely not getting out of that area. You're not parking close enough because you're screwed. So I think somebody parked, if they parked a vehicle, it has to be outwards like 6-7 blocks. And I would say, and then if I was to look at a map, I know that they're going to stay away from then the commercial places, like the gas stations on certain roads. But I would even potentially start looking at the public transportation areas. I don't know. I would look down over at High Street where there's parking lots, but again, they do a pretty good job with High Street keeping cameras galore. Yeah, if somebody did a hit and it was a professional thing, yeah, they would have known the area then. Let's see what else. I got some more information on a couple. We reached out to the real Mike McKee. We sent an email. When I went live, I had not heard back. Like I said, we called a couple different places. He's not working in Ohio. Oh, I'm mutual friends with Mike's best friend from college when he graduated out of his med school when he graduated in 2014. His best friend, who he lived with at a couple different places while going to school in 2012, 13, and 14. His best friend went to school with a couple of my friends from Notre Dame and then went off to, he's actually killing it right now in Charleston. I think he might be in Charlotte now, though. So I reached out to a couple of mutual friends to see if he had any comment about his best friend being married to Monique, and hey, his ex-wife was murdered. So we'll see what responses I get with that. Again, being a local from the area, when I was looking through my social medias, I was like, whoa, wow. I was shocked to see the mutual friends that I had with people. So, what else? What do you guys have? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I wanted to play one of these clips actually from 6 days ago because tomorrow will be 7 days. Here's a video for you from. Now, this is original.
Been on the scene of a deadly shooting in the Wineland
Park. 6
Park.
days ago. So this aired 6 days ago. Okay. This is like the first airing from Channel 10.
All day long, our 10 TV team has been on the scene of a deadly shooting in the Wineland Park neighborhood. That all started, though, as a wellness check. Get a look at this map. It happened on North 4th Street between 8th and 9th Streets. Once again, this is the Wineland Park neighborhood.
10 TV's Lacey Crisp joins us now live. Lacey, you've been there all day gathering new details for us. You've seen investigators going in and out. So what have you learned?
Yeah, Columbus police have been on scene here for 6 hours. Now they tell us they do not think that this is a murder-suicide.
Okay, right where she's standing, guys, that's where the cameras are on that pole, literally, that she's standing next to. That's where the police have those 3 different, like octagon, like looking arms, like, huh? It's right there, so.
And police tell us that's because they did not find a gun. Now, I can tell you that Columbus police got a call around 10 o'clock this morning for a welfare check. An employer said his employee hadn't been to work and he was concerned. When Columbus police went into the home, they said they found a man and a woman, both shot and both were dead. Now, police say there were no signs of a break-in, but there were 2 small children, both under the age of 6, in the home.
4 and 1. Okay, 4 and 1.
The good news is that neither one of them were hurt. There is a city
4 and actually I think 17 months to be exact.
Crime camera at the intersection just across the street from this house. So should neighbors be concerned here?
2 individuals are deceased inside a residence from gun.
Okay, so I was interviewed today by ABC. Really sweetheart crew. So give a shout out to them. And they really wanted me to talk about when I looked today and I started looking at the thumbnails and what they were trying to push with these, tidbit breaking news. They get 1 minute and 30 seconds, right? And I was like, I don't think people are scared down here. Like, that's not what's going on. You need to push the angle that there's all these cameras in this area. Okay. And I've been out here now how many days in a row? And when I'm having people say to me that nobody is coming up to them and nobody's knocking on doors and nobody's asking them for their camera footage, that's a concern. That's an absolute concern. And so I was like, please start pushing, because I was like, people don't, if it's too difficult, if they don't watch the news, if they don't this, if they don't know how to work something, and then they want to send in the video, I don't know how to do that, so fuck it, okay? There is so much critical camera. Everybody has a freaking Ring camera down there. And if they don't have a Ring camera down there, there may be a couple houses that don't have anything, but I am telling you that the next house has like 5 cameras. So people need to get down there. And so that's me. They kept trying to ask me questions about, like, to get me to talk about, like, that it's how scary, like, oh my God, can you believe it's been 6 days and there's not, anybody have been arrested? What do you think's going on? Like, how is it for people in the neighborhood as far as you think people are scared? And I'm like, what? There's no forced entry. Somebody went in there with a gun. Nobody heard gunshots. Place wasn't disarray. The children were perfectly fine, left alone. Nobody was going in there to, like, somebody went in there or had somebody go in there because it was like they paid them, to do something, and which was kill 2 people. They went in there to take 2 people's lives and they left. That's it. And it's a real head scratcher, because I think that if you want to fit in down there and you're going to be walking around, that you're going to dress like a homeless person. You're going to dress with, you're going to be disheveled and just, I'm saying, I don't know how how much time somebody put into planning this, but if they case it and they've been planning this for a while and they knew the area and they would be paying attention to who's walking around there at night and what they look like and how can we blend in. I'm just saying.
Shot wounds. Like I said, I can't tell you right now if this is a random act of violence, if this is a directed act of violence, or if it's a murder-suicide.
Now, in addition to going through this camera footage, detectives have gone door to door to try to get surveillance video from.
Where is she getting that information from? This was day one. This is why I wanted to play it. I couldn't even fucking believe when I heard this. I said, wait, what? Now, maybe door to door with those 4 houses right there. Yep, I'll give you that. Door to door with those 4 houses right there. Totally. Probably. Door to door in that area? Absolutely not. No. I don't think that these people are lying to me while I'm walking and they're walking their dogs. Or they're, some guy came up to us today, wanted to let us know that, hey, nobody's been over here, but that house, I would see them. He was a cool black dude. And he's like, they would always get packages from I was like, oh, they're prime users, He's like, they were always getting packages over there at that house. So people just gotta go knock on some doors. And I think that it wouldn't hurt. I think that the family should get out there. I think that they should go out to this area and make sure that, because you're going to have to get a little further out. It's not just going to be this block. This is going to be, you're going to have to go out. I just know if it was my brother, my sister, I would be going out to I'd go right past the park to the left and I would go down to High and I would just extend that area.
Neighbors, they're trying to narrow down a time frame as to when this could have happened. Reporting live, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
So they did that, and that's the 2 to 5. Now that tells me, and I think it also, me and Bella were talking about it, that tells me that these people were killed and what they were wearing, they were in their pajamas. We said it a couple nights ago. If he's an early riser and he's supposed to be getting up and going to work and he's supposed to get up at 5 o'clock, or he has to make that commute. So, and if he's in his bedroom, if they're in the bedroom, then nobody's out of, if you're not out of your clothes and it's kind of like the Idaho 4 case. What were Kaylee, Maddie, what were they all wearing when they came home? Can that help at the time of the crime? Had they gotten in their pajamas? What was everybody else wearing? What was that? What's the last thing on their phones? So they narrowed it down that they wanted just camera footage now from 2 to 5. So maybe what this is here's the beginning part of us finding this guy at 2. And now we want people to turn stuff in just from 2 to 5 because we want to track where this guy goes. I don't know. But I think that's at the beginning of the footage that they have. I'm trying to think. What else did I find out when I was down there? So I've gotten a lot of emails about Spencer being in the Big Brother and Big Sister group. Okay. People are like, what do you think about that? I think he's one hell of a dude. I've watched the video. I think he's one hell of a human. But I'm not sold on the whole that something happened over there and one of these, kids that he mentors just was like, you know what? Thanks for nothing. That's not where I see that at all. You have to go to motive. What's the motive here? They didn't take anything. If the cops aren't lying about that, right? If nothing's missing. Again, who could answer if anything was missing? Well, if they didn't have a safe, I mean, I don't know. You have to ask the family, right? People that are close to them if they were ever to tell somebody that. But what do people normally keep in their house anymore? You know, everyone's using cards and shit. So doesn't look like a homeless person to me. Well, what do you think it looks like? The person looks like? Did you check out the beginning of this video and where the person actually is? They're walking towards the house. So this person's walking towards the house. That's a person that's dressed in jeans, would you say? Person that has their hands in their pants for their pockets. I'm gonna tell you this, when you have gloves on, your hands aren't in your pockets. Okay? When you have gloves on, your hands, why don't you try putting gloves in your pockets when you have them on? Your hands have gloves on, go put them in your pockets. I think it's personal. I think it's personal. Says, yep. Yeah, it is. What do you guys think about the, so hear me on this. What do you guys think about somebody Googling someone's name, okay, right before the murder, like a day before, like the morning of, or the morning before? What do you think about somebody, you know, web searching somebody's name or both of their names, when they never get searched, and then here, December 6th, December 8th, December 18th, December 7th, 29th. Isn't that crazy? Now, what I thought about is if, let's say that you ask somebody to do this, so it's like a hit. Would that make somebody then be Googling the person that's going to like plan the hit? Or is that like where somebody slipped up? Why we think that it's related is because when you actually look up both of their names, there is like nothing. Okay. Except when you go back a little bit, and you're just going to see like one day, like here or there per year. And that's where it's kind of like if somebody was to like, I don't know if you get like, people get married or you have a kid and they're trying, oh, I got to see so-and-so. Like, so we want to know if you were to like Google somebody because you're looking for their social media stuff. Right. But how many people out there think that is a not personal, but professional thing? Like Spencer's field of, dentistry. So there's another dentist out there that was like, oh, that's it. We looked at the analytics for the address and no. We were very specific, and then we went to specific cities to do it. So that's what the crazy part is for me, is that we specifically went to different cities and looked at the area of those cities. And we wanted to see, because you have to be really specific about the word and how, like, if it's capitalized, if it's lowercase. And holy shit, that's all I have to say. Personal, targeted. Business is always personal. True. Well, again, I don't put too much stock into the initial reports, guys. We've seen, I can't tell you the last time where there's been a case with the initial report is anything close to anything. Okay. There was no unconscious person at the house for the Idaho 4 case. Okay. That's not what it was. So I'm not putting that much stock into anything other than the fact that you have a dentist. He's really responsible. He's part of running this practice. He's supposed to be there. He's not there. They're close. Hey, then I try to call his wife. She's not answering. Then you're going to be calling different people that in the area. Hey, can you go over there? Hey, I'm going to call the cops first. They kind of gave us a herky-jerky around. In fact, we do now have every single, I'll show you guys. This is pretty crazy. Look at this. So all of these, this is every single, I have a couple different ones, but everything that was said over the radio during that time frame, 9 to 10:15, and then we did another one from 10:15 to noon to see what was being said over the radios. Zipped all those, and they're all in individual files. So to see because I'm trying to, I don't know if you guys know this, but every news outlet that's put out the 911, it's not in its entirety. Every news outlet, so I asked them specifically about that. Every news outlet has put out their little clips of it. And I think that that's been a problem. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to make a video that has it in its entirety. And then try to possibly enhance some stuff and take some noise away. But yeah. The initial reports was 3 shell casings. So, and I would love to know if it's the police that are saying where the shots were in the 2 victims, or if that's coming from somebody that, who's that coming from? So also I don't give any weight into that either right now. Let's see. What's up, DB? Would love to know your initial impression. My initial impression would be an ex killing somebody all these years later. Okay. You get divorced in 2017. It's 2025. What would be the motive, right? Oh, now's the time I'm going to get you back. But I will tell you what I think helps that could be the case is when we researched and found that it was only Spencer on the house for the deed. Okay, that was really interesting because if you're going to try to look somebody up to see where they live and shit like that, the last thing you want to do is be putting bills in your name. You want to be the house isn't in your name. So that means you're trying to keep it, I don't want someone to find me. This person sucks, whatever. And, so I thought it was interesting that Spencer's name is the only one on the house and what could be the reasons for that. And I think that, wow, if I want to keep somebody from not knowing where I live, that'd be one of the reasons. So just curious if that is a reason. And if that was a reason, holy shit, that's pretty crazy. Lana, did you hear about the garage break-in a couple days before? Is that legit? I have not heard anything like that. What garage? Is it a garage of theirs or in the area? Oh, what's up, girl? How you been? Happy New Year. Thanks for giving out those 5 memberships. Kay Schmidt, Happy New Year. 5 memberships she passed out. Deborah, what's good? What's up? Well, they blew that by making the whole wedding video with their whole address and house exposed. How would anybody be able to find them? Their last names weren't on there except for Spencer's, which how would anybody know if you're for Monique? I mean, how are you going to find her from that? I actually looked into that. The only way that would happen is if somebody shared that video prior to. We did some analytics with that. And I can tell you that prior to the murders, that video was only seen so many times, like this big. But I think that you can do some analytics with that to see what the dates of those views were. And if you can, I'd be really interested to know those results. So let's do a hypothetical. Hypothetically speaking, if they got married 4 years ago now, right? This would have been their 5th wedding anniversary coming up. If that video hadn't been seen by just like the family, and it was like a while ago, I don't know when it was finished, but it said it had been posted for 4 years. Let's hypothetically say that just like these lovely name searches, what if somebody had just viewed that video, let's say a couple days to a month before the murder? What would you think? Crazy? Just a coincidence, right? Lana, did you check all prior addresses and associates? Yeah, we've been looking into a lot of it. I definitely think some stuff's interesting. I'm trying to make sure that I want to get as much information as I can. And you know who's not helping at all with that? Mainstream media. I mean, they don't got anything. They don't got anything. Yeah. I think if it was the Big Brother angle, I think that there would already be an arrest. That's all I will say about that. That means somebody's trying to call you and get in touch with you, and you're like blowing them off or something. Yeah. Tomorrow's gonna be 7 days. It's gonna be a week. I'm telling you guys, when I tell you how many cameras are over there, that's what's, in the Idaho 4 case, it was in the middle of the night. Somebody walked in your home in the middle of the night and did that. Same thing with them. Somebody walked in their home in the middle of the night and did that. But they used a gun. Nobody heard any shots anybody that I've asked said no. I didn't ask any of the neighbors that live like right there in the 4 houses, but so I don't know. Who is Michael? Michael is Monique's ex-husband, Michael McKee. She was married before, no children. I also put out on my community page the baby that's in the video, you guys. That is the niece. That is her niece. Okay, that is not her child. That was not a child from a previous anything. So that can be put to rest. I'm definitely interested in the vehicle that was there outside in the front of the house, and all of a sudden it wasn't inside the tape, and then they came into the tape again, and then they put the tape to include that vehicle, the white Golf low soupy. Yes, Michael is her ex-husband. They got divorced again, married in 2015, divorced in 2017. They did not have any kids. I don't know what any type of contact that has happened since, except I don't think that it was wanted contact if there was. I also think that for someone that's a doctor, Michael, you would think that he would have way more. So like his best friend from college, he's doing like banging well. He is like in a $2.5 million house. He's a big old surgeon. He has a social media presence, but he has all of his accolades. I mean, it's just, you can find him, you know what hospital he's at. It's not like or heart center surgery. And it comes to this guy and it's like, fuck, what does he even do? There's definitely some interesting things. So, I don't believe that the cops gained entry. I think that when the cops came back, is that what you're asking? I think when you listen to the whole 911 call again, if anybody has a link to if one of the departments actually put it all out there, otherwise I'm going to be uploading it. When you listen to it, you have to listen to it with different mainstream media or local news. They just took little clips of it. The actual whole call exists, and I think when you listen to it as a whole, you're going to have a different. It's going to be totally a different context, and I think that the news could have done a way better job of picking and choosing how they produced that audio. That's what I've gathered from. I have all of my stuff though in it's back in my editing, so. Did the door have a key code lock? I have a picture of the back door. Let me get a good angle. Here, let me go to that one video again one more time. Okay, right here at the beginning, that guy walks pigeon-toed, first of all. Then see that left drag? You see that right there? You guys, that's a pretty skinny guy. How tall do you think he is? I tell you, those are funky ass shoes, whatever they are. They have big old right there. Again, this is the guy that is walking. He's going to be walking into where the 4 houses are going to be coming up on your left, on his left here. And this is the worst camera of all the cameras that are going to be back on those garages. I mean, especially the one that's got the 360 on it. It's the one that's before Spencer and Monique's house. It's not the white one, even. There's a house before that has this 360. Looks like a police cam van. He's absolutely trying to hide himself. You don't think he's cold? You guys think he's dressed warm or cold? How do you think he's dressed? What is he wearing? Does he have a jacket on? Is that a jacket? Is that just a hoodie? Looks like a jacket, right? What, like a North Face? So if that hood's not part of the jacket, then he's wearing a hoodie, right? Plus a jacket. Well, take a look at that then. How skinny is this person then? Does he have a blue shirt that's coming out of the bottom? You guys see that right there? See, his hands are definitely in his jeans pocket. I can see right there. No? Then he takes his one hand. You know how skinny this kid is? This kid is super, super skinny, if you ask me. The person walks like they're. Wouldn't you say sagging jeans? That's what I said. That's the same thing I said. Does he look like he has? I think he looks pretty skinny too. I think he's very thin. So I'm just saying, think about it. Even if it's a North Face with a hoodie, when he's walking right through the side angle, I mean, this person is thin. You guys think the person's white or black? How about that? White or black? If anybody says that they can tell, I say you a liar. I say you are lying. If this person actually has their hands in their coat right there, you know how skinny we're talking about right then? Holy shit. Yeah, Bella says, she's like, man, he looks like he's drunk. She said that. We were talking about that. White dad walk. I think pigeon-toed walk. Dressed young. It is slushy road. It's gravel. It's gravel. He is lean. You guys, this is the worst camera that they have down there. They got way better shit down there. And I'm telling you what I'm saying right now. This person is walking towards the house in the back. They're walking towards the house. And for as close as they're walking up against the left side here, that's right on the left side here is right where those apartments are. Okay, did that person just sneeze actually? Watch that. They bring up their elbow. Is it actually a sneeze? It's like a tick. I don't know. Just a really weird thing to do. Like, what is this? What the fuck is this? Is that a chew? Like a, I don't know. Very skinny, possibly a sneeze. Here, well, let's watch it in half speed. Maybe, let's see, 75. Dude, this person is like, this person looks like they could be living, I'm telling you, or staying at the Huckleberry House. I'm telling you. I don't know. That's at 75%. Maybe right here in the middle. He's like walking, so he's like this type of like, he walks with his shoulders. You know what I mean? Someone's like moving with their shoulders, with their legs, and they're like, you remember those people that don't have their pants up all the way and they have to like take their belt and pull it a lot? You guys know, and then you got to like move a certain way so that you guys know what I'm talking about. This reminds me of like a middle schooler walk. These are really baby steps too. This isn't, look at that. Those aren't that. It's very slow. Oh no, Anna, that's just you at 75%. Oh, okay. I'm just messing with you guys. Sometimes you got to make light of some things when you have it. I can't believe that this is the footage that they gave. But there's apartments that are right there to the left. And This is so cops said this is between 2 and 5 a.m. Or actually, let me correct that. I heard that from the media outlets that this is 2 to 5. I didn't hear any cops say that yet. So there's no audio. Now, I'm going to show you when I was down there the other day. This is one of the videos that I took. And I want you guys to compare these videos to this video. Let me get the right one. Oopsies. Okay, here's this one. All right, here's the first video I want you to look at. Do you think there was a gun on him, on that person? Okay. So while I was just sitting out there, because I took a lot of B-roll film, and I did not mean to be catching this. It was just what happened. So here you go. This was a little clip. This was on Saturday morning. What do you think about that? This is definitely not the person, right? I was just chilling, taking some videos. I was like, how is he walking? I was like, what's going on? I couldn't believe it. Is that him? I mean, I don't know. Look at that backpack. Like, I'm literally sitting there and I was writing down these, like I wanted to do a grid for the streets and the numbers. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, okay, well. And yet, as you can see, like that's the White House right there. That's 4th. You know, I'm right there on the side of the street, you know. I'm on the side street facing the one way. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? So not that video then. Let me get the other one I have. I have a different video now. Now I want to show you guys how some of these cameras look. So then I did my own video to get the area. Jeez. Okay, here's a good one. All right, here's another one. Oh, wait, no. This one. Okay. So this is the video I thought we were going to see some footage from. Boom. Okay. Right there. See that video? See that camera that's right up in that corner of that garage? That's the video. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to be right after. So take a look. It's right there. You can see it. It's got the, some people can't see it though. That's the whole point. And then right there, this is where this dude's coming from. Those are those 2 brick apartment complexes that are really small. But that's what he's walking up on, and he's coming towards where we're at right here. He's walking this way. And I'm over here just like, that's the video you're using? Like, he has to come all the way this way. This is where all the good cameras are. You know? And because you have that one, then when you're, if you're looking right there, those are your, that's the one white house. Then you have the gray house. Then you have the white house, you see? And that gray house right there, that's their house. So I was just like, this is the video, unless this camera doesn't work. But that's going to have some really good footage. Let's see. I got another angle I want to show you guys, the backyard. Oh, all right, take a look. The cam situation down there is thick. When I say thick, I mean there's a lot. It's a thick presence. All right, let me bring up these other pictures here. Okay, so here you go. All right. That's the house from the back. You could easily put your foot right on and try to like balance yourself to try to hop that fence, I would believe. Okay. I think you'd have no problem doing that. But this is obviously, you could see like how the garages are right there. You could see right where I was standing, right where I had to take this. This is right where this dude's walking towards, but he would have to pass that little 360 camera. Okay. And then this I wanted to go, so I came to the other side, backed off to the side in the alley. But do you see what I caught over here? Up to the, so this is their back door. Then this is like the other side of the house in the back. But right there, you see those things? They're situated ones. They're both on both sides of the garage. That's their neighbors. I mean, I'm telling you, it's Fort Knox over there. But the only keypad that I saw that you could potentially punch something in was the back door. But again, how the garages work is right when you park your car into the garage, then you can walk from the garage and it will take you into the back courtyard area. So hold on one second. Next up is see, so like this is the door. They had the ring. And I don't, but that's what it looks like. And I do not believe that the person came through the front door at all. If they came through the front door, we wouldn't be talking about the case anymore. I mean, we would, but we would be having a name, in my opinion. But that's what the... So this... That might be a... I don't know. Let me do some more research on what I think that could potentially be. But that's the front door. And then when I go back to the back door, it just looked to me, actually, it might be the same. Yeah, I was wondering about that possible finger lock pad, if it would be like a fingerprint. So, but you can see that there's a screen door on it. But more importantly, I'm going to add a couple more here. You guys, I'm telling you, look at this. This one? No, not that one. Just as you can see, this camera on the left side of the garage, there's the same one on the right side of the garage, okay? Then when you zoom in, you see this house right here? Boom, that's their house right there. The white one that's to the right, they have a camera that is in and mounted in the middle of basically where the gray house is. Slap a camera in the middle of that house upwards to like where like that top window is. They have a camera there, that white house does, okay? Then on the opposite side, not the inside right here, but on the opposite side of the White House, it has 2 cameras to catch. I mean, and then they have a 360 camera on top of their house. This White House, I'm telling you, is Fort Knox over there. And there's been no confirmation yet, but Spencer and Monique had Simply Safe. And Simply Safe, I could talk to my camera right now. I could tell it shit. It talks to me. I can talk to it. Okay. Those, depending on how you set it up and you use it, you can do a lot of shit. So inside my house, I have cameras. Outside my house, I have cameras. And I don't think that they would just, they're the first owners of that house. You wouldn't just be like, hey, can I have that Simply Safe sign and just stick it there and not, I mean, they have the ring out front. I'm interested if they have 2 cameras inside. I think that they do, but depending on where they are, and, you know, I was looking into it because I know that mine, even if my Wi-Fi was out, I have cellular backup. So, I don't know. If you don't pay for the Simply Safe subscription, it's not monitored though. No. It depends on what you want them to do with it. So, a good point at cameras not being much with ski masks, etc. Yeah, but at least they would know if this is the guy that's dressed like this. Okay, they would know that. You know, I'm not happy about the camera footage that we got. That just doesn't make sense to me. I think you guys can see why. We got literally another huge 360 that's coming up on the left. And I would think the 360 has more capability, unless it wasn't working, unless it didn't catch something. So let me see a couple of these pictures. House. Let me show you how smart this is. I think I kind of already did this, but this gave me another idea to do at my house with something else on the deck. So I thought this was just genius. Okay, this is one of the neighbors down there. And Bella had the opportunity to actually talk to one of the guys. This person took their light, changed the, that's just supposed to just drop down, change the angle of it to point the light at the camera, okay, to give it extra. Well, technically, if your camera is, or not your camera, but if your light is motion activated, if you're walking on that sidewalk, it will then get the motion activation, then it will trigger the camera, and then it's going to put it into better lighting for you to catch people. It's extra. It's not, people were thinking that it was designed, someone doing that was like going to make it worse. No, that's going to make it better. And I'm like, dude, take this one right here. That's what that's for. That's fucking awesome. I give that neighbor props. Oh, here, you might be able to see that camera on the White House. Oh, God, I think I need to be down further. This is that house. Oh, wait, maybe right here. Yep, we got it. Okay, take a look at this. There she is. Look at that puppy right there. See that? There she is. I was like, holy shit. Look at all these cameras. So that's the White House. Spencer Monks is right here to the straight on. And I don't know what type of range it has, but this is the inside. And depending on if that person came through the back, it may have caught somebody coming through the front, coming through the backyard. Again, I don't know. Again, nobody, in my opinion, came through anywhere near this front door. But that camera, it's in the middle and it catches. It's just, let me see if I have another angle. It's going to catch the backyard part. See that? Fort Knox, I'm telling you. But I agree with people when they say, hey, well, they have a mask on already. And yeah, they would have to have their mask on already. I have some other pictures. Let me show you. Okay, this is the Huckleberry House. Okay, now we can talk about this even more so. This, I think, is important. I sent this into the Columbus Police Department, and I said I really wanted them to look at, so this is if you're at the Huckleberry, there's a Ring camera there, but more importantly, when you're in this, so see that Ring camera? So I showed them that, but the Huckleberry House is to the left. This, though, is like I think it's like a rehabilitation place. So this is me standing like basically right in front of that door and looking outward, okay? And the alley that butts up, you know how there's other garages that are on the other side? These are those houses that are on the other street, okay? So basically the houses butt up to each other, but they have the alley in the middle way, and then they have the garages. So that makes the houses from the back side, like the streets, further apart than normally, like if you had your houses with your garage and, in the front with your driveway. So that makes these houses further apart. But you should be able to understand now, like the layout of these streets. Now take a look at this. I sent this in because if you're parked in this parking spot, one of these up here, you have a straight, if you want to like case this area right here, that's their house right there. That gray house back there, you could sit up here and literally pay attention to. So hypothetically speaking, I mean, I don't know, they're set on this whole thing that, hey, we're looking at a time frame from 2 to 5, but me over here saying the kids, nothing happened to the kids. If you're trying to like figure out when the kids are going to bed, or if they're having people over, if they're not having people over, up here, you're able to get a look at this house. So I wanted to send that in because I said, if anybody was casing this place, potentially they went the week before, maybe a couple weeks, but there's that the Ring camera. Like, go back and look at like the past month, see what's going on up there. I just wanted them to see that little, you could see the house and it sits up. This is the Huckleberry house. So where I was just a second ago was in that parking lot there to the right. And see, I have to go up those stairs. So you're up over there. And this is the Huckleberry house. This is where I saw right here on this patio, right here, or porch, whatever you want to call it. I saw 2 Columbus police officers today questioning and asking a guy who at the time, I'm over here like, oh, what are they doing? They had 2 cop cruisers there, and they were asking somebody a bunch of questions, and then they went inside the building. Then we get this release of this camera footage, and his build was literally like the same as that guy. No shit, shit you not. His build, little skinny, little like skinny dude. He was black, but just I don't know his build. I can't see his face, and I would definitely not be able to pick him out of a lineup. I could just tell you a couple of different features of his hair, how he wore his hair, and about probably how tall he was. But those cops could definitely tell you. They were talking to him. So that's the Huckleberry house. So this is right 2 streets behind because of the alley, and then it's the street. And let me get a couple other ones. Oh, I would say he was like 5'10". What's on this one? Okay, here's a good angle. Look at this. This is why I was like, you see how they went ahead and stretched that out? They use that tree, and then all of a sudden they put that car there inside the tape. It was not inside the tape, but the car behind it never went inside the tape though. So I was like, damn. These are the 4 gentlemen that came and brought a soccer ball and then flowers. The news caught them. So I took a pic. Oh, this guy's wearing a hoodie. This guy's wearing a black jacket. Taller, skinny. I have no idea who that is, but wonder how he walks. Actually, they have him walking across in the news article. You never know. People return to the scene. Oh, for the record, it's been down for a while, and that is the neighbors fenced in. That part's missing, and it was missing prior to, so I found that out. Oh yeah, this is just not acceptable. See, But Summit over here, 4th. This doesn't make any sense. 11th. They're going all the way to 11th. Up over where that dot is to the left, there's like a gas station up over there. That's the area that they were looking, that they put out like, hey, if you have camera footage in this area. This is interesting to me because they're going more right than I thought. It's very interesting. This is the original stuff though, so that's just that. So sad. Oh, there's so many more flowers. By the way, there's a ton more stuff down there. People have been donating like crazy to the GoFundMe. I think that's awesome. I'm sure that they'll probably like be putting something in, like some type of something for the kids. I have a couple more. Let's see. Not that one. All right, what else? Anything else? I'll try to see if they come up with anything new here. Any questions? Lana, I'll be your Huckleberry, right? Yeah. Allie, what's going on? How the caller could see into a bedroom if the master was not downstairs fighting. Saw Spencer holding a pineapple, thought on a hat. Like I said, I think I covered this earlier. Let me type it in right now. I think there's a lot of poor information. I think the police need to do a press conference, just like we were giving poor information on the Idaho 4 case at times, and nobody was correcting things. It was a big old mess. But if there was no signs of forced entry, how'd the killer get in? I'm telling you, when they left, do you think that they locked up? So my question is the cop just when he came there, did he ever actually try to go inside the house? If he didn't try to go inside the house, when actually like friends showed up, did they try to go into the house then? I mean, I would. My friends would let me go into their house. You know what I mean? Bus stations. We were looking into those. Let's see. I know that I think it's just important to, let's see what we got here. Garage door, open, caution. Instances. Okay, let's take a look at this. Interesting. Someone just sent me, hey Lana, I was sleuthing around and I found this. It's in the like neighborhood apps for the area. There's neighborhood apps for the area. Garage door open, and then the caution tape was down. What? Caution tape was down. Very strange. I don't understand, but that's interesting as fuck. That's definitely right where that needs to be. Interesting. What are these neighborhood apps? I've never heard of these neighborhood apps. I need to get these I mean, are we talking like neighborhood apps? Oh, damn. Okay. Damn with the right hand. Knock, knock. Citizen here. It says 2 days ago, though. I wonder when that screenshot was taken. I want to see one more walk right there. I'm going to have to go outside and go back down there. And I want to measure where my body comes when I'm walking past right there. That's what I want to see. Dang. Okay, so this is interesting as hell. Now I have way more questions. Okay, so the place across the street from him right there, when I originally went over there, there was a Ring camera that was, it was up and then it was not there anymore. Like somebody had taken it. So I'm wondering if there was one there and then they took it, because that would be right where he's standing at. I asked the neighbor that, but he... Log in. I know that Spencer has a Tesla. I do know that. And depending on where he went and if anybody got in his car recently, it would probably be in there. Tesla's got it all. Lana, if that's a Tesla, you have to get their car footage. Which car you think is a Tesla? That one right there? It's not trash day. Actually, I looked into this as well. Everyone just leaves their garbage cans out there like that. Those garbage cans, all these people's garbage cans, not just these people, but all of them, they just all sit out there like that. Like every day. Yes, I agree, Michelle. The guy in the video looks pigeon-toed. I agree. I know that Spencer has a Tesla. I don't know if that's a Tesla, though. But I can definitely go down there and see what type of vehicle he's rolling with. Sure, no problem. They're saying not a robbery. They're saying that nothing was taken. That basically the only things that were taken were 2 lives. So that's according to Bella there, too. Oh, Citizen. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you now. I thought you meant... Let me correct this. I thought what you'd sent me... is that this was, because this is how crazy these apps are with your home. I thought that this was from their house, like that somebody had gotten the app from the family and put it out there or something like that. That's what I thought you were sharing. Now I gotcha. Okay. Should we do a Lana original call? I have somebody that I want to call and ask. If he has any information on Mike. I wrote Mike an email. It's kind of late though, but he seems like a partier. His name's Brad. I still think he's partying. Okay, nearby cams. We have the city. We need 5th, 4th. I-60. No, that's not going to be. That's going to be 2. Has anybody looked at the city cams? Ooh, 12th Ave might not be bad. That's actually probably too far. What's a good area is right by, what's it called? I'll have to look. What do you guys say? A phone call? We need a phone call. I emailed Brad. I emailed Mike. He didn't email me back. I know it's his correct email, though. I do know that. And how many people do you think that they've interviewed? How about that? Okay, so in the Idaho 4 case, it'll be a week tomorrow. So how many people do you think have been interviewed? I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the record too. You guys, when I remembered that, holy shit, this was like the 30th, like the 29th going into the 30th, right? People have people over all the time for the holidays. Like, how did this person know that nobody else was going to be in there? You know, because when you have in this area, if you want friends to stay over, you can either put them in your driveway behind where your car, like where you park, or they can park out front, like right in front of the house, right? I mean, that's a hard way to monitor, but it's right before the 31st. I mean, if you're I think there's a lot of intel here. There's a lot of intel here. Like a lot. When I say a lot of intel, I mean a lot of intel. How do they know like they weren't traveling like for the holiday, for like Christmas to go like to family, or they're going out on like vacation? Like the one did somebody, oh my gosh, here, how about this? I want to know, did Spencer take any new patients that somebody made to call in and say, oh, does he have any availability on this day, on this day, on this day? That's a way that you would be able to find out if he wasn't traveling. That's what I would do. In fact, if I want to interview somebody, I would make a phone call like that. Hi, this is Suey, and I'm just going to try to get an appointment in here. And, you know. So did somebody call up a couple days or even like a month out to see if he was working? Therefore, he's not going to be out of town if he's, if he's working. Where is the intel? Where is it? The intel is here in the fact that all these cams, who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, when they're going to be there. Everybody travels around the holiday. The next day, like people go. Sometimes people leave right after Christmas and they go out, for a week. Some people go for like the whole 2 weeks that your kids are out of school. Here, these kids were younger, so they didn't have to deal with that. But my name would be Tina. That's funny. I just think that if this was a hit, if it was a professional hit, I want to know if, this is the other thing I found. So Spencer had just gotten a LLC in February of 2025. He put his name in his dentistry that I don't know if he was planning on like having his own practice, or what he was planning on doing, but he didn't start his LLC until 2025. And he's been a dentist since 2017. I think that's when his license started in Ohio. I have to go back and double check that date. I think it was 2017. Anyways, doesn't get an LLC until February of 2015, or I'm sorry, of 2025, February. Then actually in December 19th, 2025, he actually just renewed his, license. So we had it then for another 2 years. You just have to keep doing that. And so I don't know if there was any type of falling out with anybody, but that's one thing I can think about with money wise here is like, if she's a stay-at-home homemaker here after having the children, she's not running into that many people then. Not how you would be if like you're at work and I got some weird ass coworker that won't, leave me alone or something. You have her ex. And then we did a FOIA to see if there's been any calls. Did anybody make any calls? Something was out of place, or did they ever call for like their own to report something? And right now, nothing. You know, it's usually if like one or the other of the person in the marriage is murdered and the other one's still alive. Hey, we look straight to your spouse. Well, here both of them, you know. And it's like, okay, who do you look at? Then who do you turn to? What would be who's gaining anything for them to be like no longer here? So, yeah, he just had a birthday. That's really sad. Trying to think what else. Let me double check my notes one more time. I think the Google Analytics is pretty impressive. Oh, that's everything. Yeah, Spencer got his LLC. Oh, you know what? Holy shit, I just thought about this. Oh, fuck. When he got his LLC, he was still been able to get it some other way. His address was put on this. But if you were to Google Spencer anyways, that address is going to come up. If you look at the deeds, it's just her name wasn't. Yeah. All right, that's everything. All right, guys, that's going to end this show. You guys are awesome. We'll be back at it. I'll be back down there tomorrow. Yeah. I think Google is huge. Yeah. Especially in the different areas that it was happening in. I'm going to make a little video on that. I think it's really, really, really interesting. Somebody's Googling my name, and my name wasn't getting Googled at all. And then all of a sudden I'm murdered. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace out. Thank you. Thank you, moderators. Appreciate you guys.